what was going on. And it just comes down that hill at such a high rate of speed, it just washes it out. There's no way to keep the water in the ditch right now.
There's no ditch.
Exactly. Well, what would be the ditch?
One of the biggest problems you have is right at Tower Road in Little Prairie.
Yes.
The ground actually would be eaten away this much. And that much is eaten away right at the edge of the road. So
I know.
you pay a lot of money for a road.
Oh, that's the thing, we pay a lot of money for a road.
So then, I think that's why we shouldered it last year, because it wasn't, the funds weren't there to do what we proposed. So rather than let the road just go to crap, we shouldered it, and it held up for a while, but this spring we had like 3 different bouts of heavy rain. And I've never seen it as bad as this. That stuff on Tamarack was all new to us.
It's never happened.
It never happened before.
Not till
Until they fixed the road.
Until they started putting the
Remember
gravel on.
when they
They
started
started putting gravel on.
process?
I mean, this year's horrible.
Yeah.
Worst ever in
That's why
59
it
years.
goes to that lady for there.
So going back in time, Tamarack Road was paved in 2013 and 2014. Those 2 sections that are not black, currently they're gray. Both of those roads, as well as Little Prairie Road, when they were paved, they were shouldered with reclaimed asphalt. Eventually what happens over the course of time is that the 8 inches on the outside of the pavement gets broken down from our mail service, from people driving off the edge of the road, but not off the edge of the road, and eventually that reclaimed asphalt turns into black stones. There's no oil, there's no more glue left, and it is what it is. So we've got 2 options, which we tried on Little Prairie Road 2 years ago, which was to put reclaimed asphalt back in those holes. The unfortunate thing is that when we did that, it was September. A week later, it rained, and it never got hot again to actually drive anything in. And because we were patching and not regrading the entire shoulder, it more or less did the exact same thing because it never set up. Last year, because we didn't have $30,000 in the road maintenance budget, and going through the budget process after the fact, the levy increase that we had asked for was not approved. There was cuts necessary in the budget, and we had $9,000 in the budget this year for road maintenance. Aside from potholing, aside from mowing, aside from trees, just general maintenance. Okay, so we couldn't do reclaimed in October of last year because, again, the temperature related thing. We had a very similar event last year where we got 4 inches of rain in September. It finally washed out both Tamarack down to the bottom of the hill and Little Prairie Road, where we had to fix it before they plowed to make sure that when the snowplow was driving down the middle of nowhere, it was not a tire rut and potential danger issue. So we sit where we sit. We put gravel back in both of those spots last year. They had prepared an estimate for us for Little Prairie Road specifically, and we didn't have $30,000 to be able to maintain that. Both of those roads, if you drive through any of the other roads, 27 miles we got, it's happening on S-curve roads through the Kettle Moraine with steep grades. That's primarily where it's happening. Neither one of those roads really have any ditches. They have areas to carry water, but they generally carry it downhill to a point where the grade of the road changes, and then it washes across the other side of the road, and it does it one spot or the other. So there's some inherent issues and obvious inherent maintenance that we're looking at. One of the things that I talked with Bob about earlier this spring is that WISDOT is now deploying a new technique around their guardrails. You notice they're spraying emulsified asphalt in between the posts on the shoulders. Number 1, it keeps leaks out. Number 2, it keeps the shoulders from washing out in between those areas. Because guardrails, as we approved last month, or 2 months ago, when we approved $4,000 to dig out the side of Young Road, again, was another one in the S-curves, you get down to the bottom of the hill, and the road turns in 20 years worth of, if we wouldn't do anything to what happened last week, it's exactly what was happening on Young Road. It's just, it took 20 years for it to work its way out of the bottom or underneath that guardrail area. So
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was all sand and
Yeah.
runoff.
So the glory and not so much of living in the Kettle Moraine Hill country.
Correct, the beauty of that.
Correct.
So, I think that's what I'm trying to work in the budget for this year, see what our constituents have to say about it come time. Meanwhile, we'll just keep paying the maintenance for them to come out every time we get a 2-incher in 15 minutes.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I don't like, 3 o'clock on a Sunday.
Wait, is it rains coming?
I mean, you gotta get it off the road.
Oh, you have to.
You gotta do what you gotta do no matter what.
I don't
It's,
I didn't know it was out there Monday morning yet, I came to work and the lady I work with was like, hey, you're the town board, get that road fixed right now, it's terrible. And I'm like, we did yesterday, no, today
was I surprised?
again. I know I couldn't,
Well, you got rain here, it poured here.
I don't, you
And
said
I
it did
only
rain,
live like 10 miles away, and it didn't get a drop.
just our luck.
Yeah.
Some people are lucky, that's all. Town of Palmyra residents are lucky.
But either way, we do have a plan for it.
Well, that's good,
And we do have an idea as to what it's gonna take to do it. That list that you have, it's broken up to 10 different areas, where they were painted on the edge of the road. I don't know that they're there anymore. Maybe you can distinguish some of that.
Okay.
But now, that's 10 different areas.
Right.
If we just go down the road and keep going, it's probably gonna be cheap. Because each one of us is broken off. If you took 1 through 4, decided to do that,
Right.
and if they're not all in one section, you gotta jump or whatever.
Yeah,
to
I
get to
understand.
them. So it eats more time, and time is money, so it's hard to really peg it out to see exactly what they would need. But that's kind of our best guesstimate as far as the work goes.
Okay, well, thank you.
My thoughts are it would probably go faster. I know that what we've done in the past, if we propose something like $30,000 for the work, if we do it in $25,000 for the time, you get it.
Meaning it's time and material.
Is that,
Meaning it's time and material.
for the most part, yes. I mean, that's pretty much how we do it all the times, and it seems to be working out really well. We're not taking rich out at one time. Unless it's Lake Geneva, these last 3 weeks we're on.
Downburst.
Is that what that was? This is downstairs, right? Is all the hot wind? No?
Well, is this proposal that you did for $30,000, is this something different than what we've done?
This basically, for that is a little prairie road,
Yeah.
and it's cutting the ditches so that the water runs right off the road.
Okay.
So right now, the water starting to top of the hill, it just follows the road all the way down, which roads away. And when that road's away, and you get a big truck going down there, and there's a lot of trucks right on that road, start breaking the edge of the road. So when we go out, we do road assessments with Jack or whoever we're with, we look at the edge of the road, and if it's starting to crack, that means that you have a problem. And there's a lot of cracks on that road already. So that's one of the reasons why you don't have 30 grand to throw something, you throw 3 grand in it to try to hold the road together. And I think that was the thought at the time.
Yeah.
So it's just kicking the can down the road, but you really do what you can do. So, but either way, we're more than happy to get it done for you. It's just, you gotta have to figure out how to fit it in, so.
Thank you for inviting me, I appreciate it.
In different roads where this is taking place, can we segregate the maintenance costs? So when we present it in November, we may have to determine some priorities. So in order to know where we're spending the costs and where we get the best return on improving.
Well, I know if you spend that money and and get ditches made on that road, so you get water to run off. And I've seen that product that you're talking about, Josh, that basically, it's almost like a seal coat over it, but it's more like a cross between seal coat and tap, maybe. That'll help hold.
But it's not gonna help hold it if people ride off the end of the shoulder.
No, so it'll do basically the same thing that happened when, because I think Tommy shouldered it twice, right? But they did it originally, I think we had a redo something.
Well, the county did Little Prairie paving,
Right.
and then they came back and they patched in with reclaim when we had Highway H, but they only came out one time. When you guys patched it, it was from the commingled washout of what had happened.
That's something that we know, the Marketplace that culvert on this address and where they're at.
So all of,
A little bit of it,
Yeah.
that way.
when we get into
We'll have to-
doing budget, primarily because roads are more of the expensive piece of what we do, and the garbage is somewhat set. We typically pull their invoices out and look through and tag.
Yep.
What went with what, make sure it's in the right account, all that kind of neat stuff. So they break it out on their invoices as far as where they've been and what they did and all that kind of stuff.
When you do your budgeting, that sheet that you guys got tonight from October, that is strictly for Little Prairie Road. I can work out something for you on Tamarack. It's not that big a stretch, but definitely needs to be done. And there's some areas where I looked into a little bit more where we can save some money, because we have some areas that there's really no shoulder head. I mean, it's just project, we can take some of that dirt that we pull, put it over here. That's not a problem.
Anything else on this?
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
Have a good night.
No action?
No action,
Good.
just discussion for that.
Item number 9, discussion regarding and possible action on request for variance from section 22-97 to allow for pergola to be placed less than 75 feet from the ordinary high water mark in an R1 zone.
Tornado was going off.
Property location W1314 South Shore Drive, Palmyra. Property owners Richard and Jane Plotchick Trust. So, anything off the bat? So this house, it resides within the 75-foot setback. In 2021, they had a variance granted to allow them to build the patio that they would like to build the pergola over. There's no other request aside from that to build pergola within the 75-foot setback. Unless anyone else has anything, I would move that the town board provide a letter of recommendation to the Jefferson County Zoning Board to allow for the variance and request that they also include that the pergola not be allowed to extend outside of the existing footprint of the existing patio. Okay? No?
Does the Blue Spring Lake Association have any say in this?
No.
That's fine. But yeah.
They are not an HOA of sorts, they are a lake district that still falls within our zoning. So there is a motion, is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discussion regarding 2026 Board of Review and whether alternate board members should be assigned to possible direction or action regarding the same. Mr. Montgomery.
The Board of Review hears from town residents who might have an objection to the new assessment. The town, or the Board of Review is made up of the town board of supervisors, the three of us. They, and when someone who objects requests a hearing, perhaps one of the three of us would have a conflict of interest, or in the eyes of the objector, one of us might have a bias against the ruling, and they can request that one of us be removed from their particular hearing. And when one person is removed, whether it's by that or whether we recuse ourselves for conflict of interest, for whatever reason, then state statutes require that that particular hearing be heard by at least 3 people. And since we only have a 3-person board, if one of us is removed or recused from that hearing, we need to have at least a third person as a backup here. That particular. So do we need to? It seems in reading the guide for the Board of Review members that it seems we should have an alternate on board. That's all I have.
So the hearing would be set after the Board of Review date.
Correct.
At which point they would have to formally object to have one of us removed or recused, or however you would like to look at it. I don't know if that's ever been an issue, frankly, here before. It's not a bad idea. I don't know the legalities of whom, if not a board member, we either could, should, or shouldn't appoint to that. So that's my piece.
What was your thinking? So
There are guidelines in state
there's
statutes.
other some that you can put a resident in front of somewhere. How do you go about doing that? Can you read through that, at least get us up to date, or, it's new to me, because I never knew you could ask for that. Like, well, that's-
State of Wisconsin, town of Palmyra, Jefferson County. This is a sample ordinance form that can be filled out. The state statute authorizes the appointment of alternate members to serve on the Board of Review when standing members are removed from individual cases. And again, this is a sample. Now therefore, the town board of Palmyra, Jefferson County does ordain as follows: adoption pursuant to the state statutes. The town board hereby provides for the appointment of alternates to serve on the town board of review in the event a standing board member of the board of review is removed or unable to serve for any reason. And then appointments, the following electors of the town of Palmyra are hereby named as alternates in order to, indicated to serve as alternate board of review members, and they show alternate 1, alternate 2, alternate 3, alternate 4, effective date. So there's a form for doing it. It's already out there. It's not something new.
All right. Well, thank you. Cross the bridge, we're gonna do it, gentlemen.
We will have another town meeting.
Yeah, we'll be crossing the bridge, so we had a discussion.
So if we're gonna, I guess in the big picture of this, if we're gonna pass an ordinance, for the board of review, I see it was dated 2018, I don't know if this is something that was circulated in the past, or adopted in the past.
I could not find out that one was adopted, I'm not saying it wasn't. I didn't search that hard, and I was looking for samples.
Okay.
They got a prior one where Peggy Miller was appointed, did you get, what year is that?
2016.
Will the assessor be at this board of review?
I'm sorry?
Will the assessor?
The assessor will be there, but the
Good.
assessors are experts on behalf of the municipality. They're not one of the voters.
Right.
And we need,
But they'll be there who can
They
answer
will.
questions and, yeah.
they have,
Everybody
Yeah.
comes up.
Same thing with open vote,
Okay,
they have to be here.
that I know, but I don't know what.
So if we wanna consider this and we wanna consider adopting an ordinance rather than just simply, I'll put it this way, rather than assigning someone and we wanna pass an ordinance, we would have to notice the ordinance on the next agenda. And we would probably be best suited if we had alternates in mind or how we would select alternates. So.
Okay. I think we should make a motion next time. Go ahead. I'll do it. Make a motion for it.
What was that, Mark? Just stand here right there.
table until next month.
Okay.
Put the word out, maybe someone will volunteer.
And would you like to have an ordinance adopted or considered?
Yes.
Yes, we can do that, just to make sure we're legal.
And then don't forget, ordinances are not effective until one day after published. And with the newspaper time and the meeting time, we're gonna have to be on top.
Oh, that's October 1st.
So I'll have to count the days on the calendar.
You'll be able to do that.
Oh, yes, I can.
So there is a motion to table item number 10 and to bring back a draft ordinance at the September town board meeting. Is that accurate of your?
Yeah.
And there was a second.
Yes.
Is there any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 11. Is there a motion to adjourn? I move that we adjourn the meeting.
It's raining.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Very best, we're giving it a trophy when we're after the.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
You know how, rulers
I'll get home.
Stacy.
How are you? Good, how are you?
I haven't met you.
You're the one for the first.
Put me on there. Yeah, it's on here. So just take a picture.